Hey everyone, and welcome back to MetaCast. I'm John.
And I'm Maya.
And we are ready for another deep dive.
Let's do it.
All right, so today we are diving into the world of gaming.
Ooh, exciting.
Specifically, some recent news about Firewalk Studios shutting down.
Oh, no.
And their game Concord going with it.
Yeah, this is a big one. And studio closures are sadly nothing new.
Right.
In this industry. But the timing on this one is what feels really weird.
Yeah.
PlayStation acquired them less than a year ago.
Yeah, less than a year ago, you'd think they'd give it more time.
Right. And it's not like Firewalk was some struggling indie team that PlayStation was taking a chance on.
Exactly. They had a pretty solid track record before that.
Exactly. So to see PlayStation just pull the plug like so abruptly.
Yeah.
Especially on a project like Concord, which was supposed to be like their big entry into the live service market.
Yeah.
That's what makes this story so interesting.
Okay, so let's start with like the hard facts from the Level Up news piece.
Yeah, let's get into it.
PlayStation, or SIE to be official, is indeed closing Firewalk Studios, and Concord is officially canceled.
Yeah, no revival plans, no nothing, game over.
Wow.
And what's even more interesting is what Herman Hulst, the head of PlayStation Studios, had to say about it.
Oh, yeah. What did he say?
Well, his quote about Concord not meeting player expectations,
Ooh.
basically calling it a business decision, it's pretty blunt.
Yeah, no sugarcoating there.
Not at all. And yet, in the same breath, he talks about, this being a learning experience for their future live service games.
Interesting.
So it seems like they're not throwing in the towel on that market just yet.
Which makes you wonder, like, what exactly went so wrong with Concord?
Yeah.
That they felt the need to, like, cut it off at the knees so quickly?
Yeah.
I mean, was the game truly that bad?
Well, that's where your second source comes in the Level Up review.
Oh, okay.
Of Concord. And it doesn't paint a picture of a complete disaster, but
There's always a but.
Always a but. Spill the tea. So they said it had a solid foundation. Gunplay felt good, abilities were fun.
Okay.
But that's where the praise pretty much ends. The reviewer said the game was just so incredibly generic.
Oh.
Like, nothing about it stood out.
Wow.
There were no memorable characters, no gripping story, nothing.
Okay, so not a technical train wreck.
No.
But more of a forgettable experience kind of deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Ouch, you'd think with PlayStation's backing, they would have aimed for more than just competent.
You would think, right? And if that wasn't enough, the player count at launch painted a pretty grim picture as well.
Oh.
Less than 700 concurrent players on Steam.
Oh, wow.
For a $40 game in today's world of free-to-play giants,
Yeah.
That's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it's like baking a fancy cake and then realizing nobody wants a slice because there's a free buffet right next door.
Exactly.
What a mess.
And this brings us to what I find really fascinating about this whole story.
Okay.
You've got this seemingly well-made game, a respected studio behind it, PlayStation's resources,
Right.
and yet it completely bombs.
Yeah.
What's the missing ingredient here? I think it almost feels like they missed the memo on what makes live service games tick these days.
Right.
It's not enough to just make like a decent game anymore.
It's a whole different beast compared to just releasing a single-player game.
Exactly. You need a hook,
Yeah.
something unique that sets you apart, and you need to constantly engage with your players.
For sure.
Keep adding content, keep the experience fresh.
So when Hulse talked about the live service market being competitive and evolving,
Right.
what did he mean by that?
Well, think about it. You've got games like Fortnite,
Yeah.
Apex Legends, Destiny 2.
Sure.
They're constantly adding new characters, new maps, new events.
Yeah.
All for free.
All for free. And they're masters at like building communities.
Exactly.
You get streamers,
Right.
esports tournaments,
Yeah.
massive online communities.
It's a whole ecosystem.
It's great.
Exactly. Concord, on the other hand, felt like it was stuck in the past.
No.
A $40 price tag for a game that doesn't really offer anything particularly new
Ouch.
or exciting. It's like they underestimated how much the market has changed.
Even the Level Up review kind of hinted at that.
Yeah.
Saying it might have done better as a free-to-play title.
It's hard to say for sure.
Right.
But I think the price definitely played a role.
For sure.
In today's world, gamers expect a lot for their money.
They do.
Especially when there are so many free alternatives out there.
So was it just like a bad business decision, or was there like something fundamentally flawed with the game itself?
I think it was like a combination of factors.
Okay.
Maybe they misjudged the market. Maybe they didn't invest enough in community building.
Yeah.
Maybe the game just wasn't compelling enough to begin with.
It's like they had all the right ingredients but forgot to add the spice.
A perfect analogy.
Uh-huh.
A live service game needs that extra something to make it stand out.
For sure.
Like a unique gameplay loop, memorable characters, a world that players want to spend time in.
Right.
Concord, from what we've gathered, just didn't have that.
And the irony is, this closure probably cost PlayStation way more
Oh, yeah.
than just releasing the game and seeing how it performed.
Absolutely. Shutting down a studio, writing off all that development cost, it's a huge financial hit, and it also damages their reputation.
Right.
Gamers might be less likely to trust their next live service venture.
So what's the takeaway here for PlayStation? What can they learn from this whole Concord debacle?
I think the biggest lesson is that they need to be bolder,
Okay.
more innovative. They can't just rely on their brand name
Right.
and expect gamers to flock to their games.
They need to offer something truly special,
Yeah.
something that captures the imagination and creates that must-play buzz.
Right. And they need to understand that, like, launching a live service game is just the beginning. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Oh, for sure.
They need to be committed to supporting the game, building a community, constantly evolving the experience.
Otherwise, they risk repeating the same mistakes with their next live service project.
Exactly. And honestly, the whole industry can learn from this.
Yeah.
Live service gaming is here to stay,
It is.
but it's a tough nut to crack.
It seems like it.
Developers need to understand what players want, what keeps them engaged, and how to create experiences that thrive in this ever-changing landscape.
So where does this leave PlayStation? Are they going to give up on live service entirely?
Well, Holst's statement seems to suggest that they're not giving up,
Okay.
but they need to learn from this experience and come back stronger.
The gaming world is watching.
They are.
They're waiting to see what PlayStation's next move will be.
It's a high-stakes game,
It really is.
and the pressure is on, but hey, that's what makes it exciting, right?
Absolutely. All right, folks, we're going to wrap up our deep dive into the Concord saga. We've been unpacking the news about Firewalk Studios closing down and their game Concord going with it. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, hasn't it?
It really has. From the excitement about PlayStation's foray into live service
Right.
to disappointment over Concord's failure.
Yeah.
This story has had it all.
And we've seen how this closure reflects the larger trends in the gaming industry, particularly the fierce competition
Oh, yeah.
in the live service market.
It's a cutthroat world out there, and even big names like PlayStation
Right.
aren't immune to missteps.
And
Concord serves as a stark reminder that even with significant resources and talent,
for sure.
success in the live service arena is anything but guaranteed.
So where does this leave PlayStation and their live service ambitions? We know from Holst's statement they're not giving up, but what's the path forward?
Well, they've got a choice to make. Do they double down on their existing strategy, hoping to learn from the mistakes of Concord?
Right.
Or do they completely rethink their approach?
I mean, they've poured a lot of resources into live service already.
Yeah.
It'd be surprising if they abandoned it completely.
Right, but they can't afford to keep making the same mistakes.
True.
They need to be smarter, more innovative, and most importantly, more in tune with what players actually want.
I think about what made games like Fortnite and Apex Legends so successful
Yeah.
and try to apply those lessons to their own projects.
Absolutely. They need to create games that offer like a compelling core experience, a unique hook
Right.
that keeps players engaged, and a robust plan for post-launch content
Yeah.
and community building.
They need to make players feel like they're part of something special. A
Exactly.
community, an experience that goes beyond just pressing buttons and shooting things.
And they need to be willing to adapt and evolve based on player feedback.
For sure.
The live service landscape is constantly changing,
Always.
and standing still is not an option.
So for all the aspiring game developers out there, and for all of you gamers who are passionate about the future of this industry, the Concord saga holds a valuable lesson.
It does. It's a reminder that success is never guaranteed,
Right.
even for the biggest players. But it also highlights the incredible potential of live service gaming.
It really does. If developers can embrace innovation, prioritize community building, and truly understand what players want,
Yeah.
they can create experiences that not only thrive, but reshape the gaming landscape as we know it.
And for you listening to this deep dive, what are your takeaways?
Who do you think is the biggest lesson PlayStation and the gaming industry as a whole can learn from Concord?
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Hit us up on social media.
Share your hot takes.
Your insights, your hopes for the future of gaming.
This is MetaCast, signing off for now until next time. Keep gaming, keep learning, and keep those conversations going.